Another loss for the New York Jets on Black Friday. Their defeat, this one coming at the hands of the Dolphins. It was their fourth in a row, and it was a loss that included an embarrassing play that football fans were roasting on social media. Not a good holiday weekend if you're a gangrene fan. So let's talk to a Jets fan. And joining me in studio is the founder of uSTADIUM, my guy, Frankie Vittorini.
Dexter,
Frankie, what's up, man?
Thank you so much, man.
How you doing? Good to have you here in studio again.
It's nice, but, I wish we were under different circumstances, you know what I mean? We spoke earlier this year, and I thought, we'd be at a place where we might be making the playoffs, but it's not going to happen at this point. So
yeah, well, I got to ask you before we get started, Thanksgiving just happened. Still, we got to be thankful. We're here, we're alive, we're breathing, we're able to talk sports. How was your Thanksgiving holiday?
It was awesome. We ate a lot of Italian food to start.
Nice.
So it wasn't a traditional, American Thanksgiving. We started with some manicotti, soppressata, the whole shebang, but it was good. My aunt made really good turkey, so my grandmother, helped her out, and we it was good.
All right, nice. I'm glad the Vittorini family.
How was yours?
Mine was good, man. Mine was good. Traditional, had a little bit of American cuisine, a little Caribbean cuisine, which I cooked myself.
Nice.
So it was good. It was good. Good vibes for Thanksgiving. Can never complain about that. But as we talked about, not good vibes with the New York Jets. We got Frankie here with me to talk about it. So Frankie, another week, another loss for the Jets. When you look at the Black Friday game against the Dolphins, what were your takeaway from that loss, 34-13, to the Dolphins on Black Friday?
I think this was a culmination of all of the negative things that have been happening the last few weeks with us. The team is undisciplined. The offense stinks. The players are starting to lose hope with the coaching staff. We are not in a position to really go anywhere from here. And I think today just proved that no matter what they try to do with the offense, no matter what they try to do with the play calling, even though it's still Hackett, they tried to change some things. I saw a little bit more with the motions and stuff today. This team is done. They were done when Rodgers went down. This today was officially, put a fork in them. Like we all did yesterday in the turkey. It was done. The season's over. Today was really bad because players are starting to really become frustrated. You saw what Garrett Wilson said after the game. Clemens got ejected from the game. There's no control in that locker room, too. I think they're trying really hard. So I see that players are trying to make plays, but they're just not better than the teams they're playing. And it comes from the offense. The offense just is that bad. It's probably the worst offense. Maybe Carolina's the worst, but they're second worst in the league. They're done. And today, everything just came to a head. I would say today was rock bottom for the Jets throughout this season. It was as bottom as you're going to get.
So 4-7. Frankie saying it's done, it's over. We're going to get to that later and talking about some of the hopes for the New York Jets, if there's any left, although Frankie's saying that there's not. I want to talk to you about Allen Lazard, because before this game against Miami, he was benched, right? And then after the game, we heard from head coach Robert Saleh, and he said that he hopes that Lazard recaptures the edge that he once has. When you say that, Frankie, that does not sound good at all coming from a head coach talking about a player. What do you make of his benching, and should fans be concerned about the benching of a receiver that the team gave a 4-year deal this past offseason?
Yeah, I think Saleh's done with Lazard. So I think they're going to try this offseason to maybe move on from him. I feel like he's just not fitting in with the team. He's a little bit of a rough rider, I call him, because he's really always trying to make things happen. He has a lot to say all the time. I just don't think that he fits with the culture of what this offense is trying to do. I still don't understand why we signed him, but Saleh bringing him, as being like the scapegoat for this offense and benching him. I mean, he was benched today. No matter how you slice it, it was a healthy scratch. That's a benching by the coach. And I think Saleh's trying to make him feel like he's the reason that this team's not playing well. This offense, he's done here. He's just done. I feel like he won't be on this team next year, and it's a really bad sign to sign someone for that money. But again, when Rodgers went down, every single piece of this offense was just going to play at a lesser level. That was just going to happen. Lazard was not going to be Lazard with Zach Wilson or Tim Boyle or whomever. Lazard is going to be someone that needed Rodgers, and without him, he's a C-plus receiver. Garrett Wilson's, an A-minus receiver, but he's going to play at a B-minus level. Rodgers going down affected every single player on offense, and I feel like they scapegoated Lazard a bit, but deservingly so. He's been playing badly, and Saleh had to do something, so I feel like that was his guy to sort of say, oh, I'm going to bench him. I'm going to finally keep my players accountable. Didn't help today.
Didn't
We
help.
could have used Lazard maybe a little bit. Who knows?
Maybe. Didn't help them much today at all whatsoever. Jets offense struggling once again. They only had 50 yards of offense through 3 quarters, so that was not good. As a Jets fan, Frankie, I got to ask you about you taking us through your emotions on one thing in particular. You know where I'm going here. Everybody on social media was talking about this. The Fail Mary right before halftime, right? You're a Jets fan for a long time, so you've seen a lot of plays like this that are pretty embarrassing. Where does that play rank among the most embarrassing plays in Jets all-time history? Where do you put that play?
It's probably top 10. I've seen a lot of embarrassing plays. I wouldn't say it's top 5. I wouldn't put it up there. It's top 10, though. I've seen some embarrassing plays. But, yeah, when I'm looking at the play, I'm like, all right, don't even attempt the Hail Mary.
So you didn't want him to attempt the
I
Hail
didn't even
Mary.
want
Really?
them to. They said, oh, Boyle has a strong arm. I'm like, he's going to get sacked. And I thought he was going to get sacked. There's no way he's going to find time. He's going to run into someone, maybe fumble. I'm like, just take a knee and move on, or maybe throw a screen or whatever. He attempts the Hail Mary. I see Holland right there. I'm like, he picks it off. And then as he starts running, I'm like, the team just looked a little deflated. You see some of the offensive linemen trying to get to him, and everyone's like kind of like trotting their way through. I'm like, this is really going to happen. He's going to take this back 98 yards or 99 yards, whatever it was. Sure enough, as soon as he passed the 30-yard line, I'm like, oh, Boyle's left, and you see Garrett Wilson kind of trailing. I'm like, this is a joke. I started laughing. I literally giggled for a little bit, and I hate that I'm saying that, but I'm like, as bad as it can go, it's like a comedy show. When you think it could, not get funnier, it does get funnier. And that's been happening the entire season. It's just like piling on, and I'm really ready for them to just end the season.
You said it. Well, you said it was over. And for those who don't know, when Frankie was up here with me last time on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown, he was so optimistic. He was ready for it. You had Super Bowl I believe you predicted them to go to Super Bowl.
Yeah, I did.
That is not happening.
Hopefully that clip doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's there. Sorry. it is there. All right, I want to talk to you about the head coach, Robert Saleh, because he said after this game against Miami that he's not worried about his job security. Now, considering how this season has gone with the team at 4-7, do you feel like it's time for a different voice at the head coaching position for the Jets?
You know what? I do. I don't want to scapegoat Saleh because of the fact of how this season unfolded post-Rodgers. I don't know if Saleh had necessarily all of the pieces that he needed to be successful this year, especially at the quarterback position. But again, he just is not putting together anything productive on the offensive side. And you're not just the defensive coach. You're not just the head coach that makes the defense play well. You have to do something offensively. You might have to bring in somebody new. You might have to bring in an advisor. Maybe you speak with Hackett and you can help him out a little bit with certain, drives and what you want to call. But this team, every game, their first drive it results in nothing. They had their first point, Zach had, I think, against Vegas. They're not putting together proper game plans. Robert Saleh is the CEO of the Jets. He has to figure out how to get that offense moving. This offense is one of the worst we've seen in about 20, 30 years. It's insane. And if he can't fix that offense, or he doesn't want to me it shows a lack of leadership or a lack of accountability on his end with himself. And I think Rodgers is not going to be able to just change everything magically also. I know
you're not putting it just on the return of Aaron Rodgers, that once they get a, upper echelon, at least in terms of talent, we'll see where he is at his age, that kind of quarterback. You don't think that fixes it for Robert Saleh?
It'll help a little bit, but the fact that Saleh's not doing anything offensively, it seems like he's holding really nobody accountable outside of Lazard today. He had his quarterback switch way too late in the season. He's not doing anything. There's nothing unique. He doesn't speak about offense. He'll actually put the defense under fire more than the offensive players. He's been protecting Zach all year. It's just a culmination of just from his end, bad leadership. He's not leading the troops correctly on offense. And this is an offensive league. So I'm losing confidence in him. He came in the same year Zach did. Zach is been a bust for the most part. I think he's done here. That comes on Saleh too a little bit. He had to help Zach become the quarterback that he could become. You have to bring in advisors. You have to bring in quarterbacks, coaches. You have to help the kid out. He hasn't helped him out at all. He actually said, oh, this is a redshirt year for him. This is his third year. How do you redshirt someone when they started game one and what, you're going to retroactively, what is this, like Back to the Future? I don't understand what the heck this team's doing. It makes no sense. And then you bench him and he's your third string? So he was good enough to start all year, but then he's your third string. He has no idea what's going on offensively. So, yes, did he get kind of screwed because Rodgers got hurt? Absolutely. But do I feel confident in him making our offense into a top 10 unit even with Rodgers? No, I don't. And for that fact, I think we need somebody new. I think we need a Bruce Arians, someone like a Sean Payton. If Jim's available, I would love to, inquire there. But Saleh's he's just a defensive coordinator that's playing head coach.
All right, so you think it's time for a new voice? We'll see what happens with that as we go throughout the season and towards offseason for the Jets. I want to talk to you about the quarterback change. A couple more things here, okay? Tim Boyle clearly did not spark the offense against Miami. Do the Jets need to make another change at QB? Should they go back to Zach Wilson, or should Trevor Siemian get a shot here to drive the offense? What do you think?
I think you should get a shot to play quarterback.
No. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody needs that. The fans have seen enough bad quarterback play. They don't need me out there. But who really needs to
I don't think you'd be as bad as some of these guys, though. I think you could hold up.
I like to be confident about myself, but I'm not confident about playing quarterback in the NFL. But go ahead. Sorry.
You know what? Give Trevor a chance. Why not? But there is another side to the table here. Maybe Saleh, Joe D, and Hackett, they don't want Boyle to play well, or they don't want Siemian to play well, because then it makes them look bad for keeping Zach in as long as they did. Not to play like conspiracy here, but this is a business. They need to keep their job. So I'm thinking maybe they don't want Siemian to play. Maybe they're afraid Simeon's actually going to be able to do something that makes them look like Zach was playing way longer than he should have. So in my opinion, there could be something going on there. I don't want to necessarily, harp too much on that thought. However, yes, you have to try Trevor Siemian out. There is no reason not to. At this point especially, maybe you can make a run. I'm sure you're going to ask me about the playoff, chances, whatever, but give Siemian a shot. But we should have given him a shot 2 weeks ago. And we should have gotten a quarterback 4 months ago.
Yeah,
that's the real issue. That's the real move we should have made. But
yeah, particularly from Jets fans, and being concerned at the fact that the Jets did not make a move to get a different quarterback, a backup quarterback that could have helped them earlier at the trade deadline. That's something Jets fans have said they would have liked to have seen. All right, last thing for me here, and I'm going to try, Frankie, to end with a little hope here for the Jets fan. Okay, the Jets, they're not eliminated from playoff contention just yet. They are 4-7. But with what you've seen from the team, you talked about offensively, the recent quarterback play, are you hoping that the Jets can keep hope alive? Can they put together a run? Can they have a December to remember? Do you believe, Frankie? You said they were done a little bit earlier. I'm hoping you could take the Thanksgiving fork out a little bit and have a little hope. Is there any way there's any hope for this team to turn things around and make a run for the playoffs?
There is no shot. Sorry to say it. I'm being very negative today. I was too positive last time. Jet fans, I'm going to tell you this right now. There is 0.000% chance the Jets make the playoffs this year. Forget the season. Maybe also we should all stop being negative. Stop pointing fingers at players and coaches. Let this season ride out. Honestly, maybe we lose a few more games than we want to so we can get a higher draft pick. We should have known this when Rodgers went down. I hate thinking of this, but I was thinking on the train here. I was like, you know what? We should have just accepted when Rodgers went down that this season was over. We should have accepted it, been a little more patient. We've been way too patient, so I get it. We've been waiting for a season like this for years, for decades almost. And it was just over after that point. So we just need to wait. Maybe we shouldn't make so many drastic changes because if Rodgers was here, things could have been much better. Let's be patient, look on to next season. Nate Hackett's not going anywhere if Rodgers is here. Maybe he'll accept being a quarterback's coach if he doesn't want to call plays. Maybe that's an option. But there's no point of bashing Nate Hackett. He's going to be here if Rodgers is here. End of story. Just put that in a corner. Then it's on to Saleh. What do you do with Saleh? I think if there is someone like Jim Harbaugh, you take a look there. But you have to accept that this season is done with. There is no chance, in my opinion. I just don't see it. This offense is so bad, man. this offense it's really bad. I've seen bad Jets offenses, Dexter. I've never seen, I don't think, an offense this bad, this boring.
This is a very sad Black Friday for Jets fans. I got a Jets fan in you. You're a great Jets fan. You know, all the great work you do with uSTADIUM. You come here and you're telling me there's no hope at all whatsoever. Done.
Listen, man.
You're sticking with your put a fork in it, done. It's over.
I'm on Tankathon right now. I'm looking at the top 10. You know, even with the O-line, we got so screwed with some of these injuries on the O-line. It's just what could go wrong this year did go wrong, and at this point, we just need to think about next season. We
move on.
We need to move on.
Right.
Because the more stress we put on trying to make something happen this season, even we put a lot of emphasis. Fans went to the game today and left early. I heard a ton of fans left. We put too much emphasis on the game today, thinking that would spark something. The season's been over for weeks now, to be completely frank. No pun intended, but it has. And I hate thinking like that. I mean, I root for the Jets every week. I'll still root for them every week, even though I might want a higher draft position. I'll still root for them. But it's over. Let's accept it. Hopefully Rodgers comes back, and then hopefully we can look at what we can do in the offseason. That's it.
All right, we will see. I tried to end with some hope, Jets fans. I tried to get my guy Frankie Vittorini to give you some hope, but he's saying that is over.
I have some hope.
Jets lose 34-13 to the Dolphins. What's the hope?
I think Zach Wilson's stock slightly went up. So instead of maybe getting a conditional 7th, we might be able to get a conditional 6th because of how Tim Boyle played today. So there we go.
If you're hanging on that hope, I don't know if things are really that great. That is Frankie Vittorini, the founder of uSTADIUM. Go check his work out there. Always good to talk Jets football with you, Frankie. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you so much, man.
All right, man.
Happy holidays.
Yes, to you too. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. And to everybody out there, thank you.